welcome to my podcast Life Adventures Taught Me. Today we will be talking about the topic building my own house. I think this topic is really interesting and it's one of my experiences that I can say a lot about since I've been doing it for more than 1 year. I would like to share what are my impressions about each work I did. Just to get into the story, my house I built in the village where I grew up, next to my parents' house, so I wanted to have a place for me where I can have my own peace, my own time, my own corner where I have like complete freedom. So in 2020 we started the process of building the house, but that's where we stopped. In 2022 I have decided to set it as one of my main goals for the year 2022. So I invested a lot of time and money in this plan, and I just want to say all the insights from the process, how it went, and all the impressions I had like doing this work. All the house I built with my father, so each part of the house from the bottom to the top I did it with my father. My father, he is a master and he knows a lot of things about building, and while I was growing up in my childhood, many times he was working as bricklayer, so in a lot of work I used to help him a lot. So throughout these, let's say, young years, I learned also a lot about building and many similar crafts that are related to the work of bricklayer, of building the houses. I just want to say that without my father I wouldn't be able to accomplish not even close. I was lucky that I have my father to help me with that and do all the process together alone without any help or without need of some other masters, bricklayers or some other masters in different crafts, because we did it all alone. The roof, like of the wood, like building the walls out of bricks, from making the concrete and foundation of the house and foundations of the walls, we did it all alone. As I said, from the bottom to the top, every single part of the house we did it alone. So thanks to my father, like, I saved a lot of money, because now if you build a house you need a lot of money for the material and a lot of money for the masters from different crafts that will participate in the building of your house. You need to pay them a lot. So in that way it was much easier money wise, but we invested so much time, so much effort and so much work. It was not easy at all. In many moments I was like, oh my god, I don't want to build anymore, but this goal to have my own corner where I have my complete freedom, it kept me going, it motivated me. So here we are. I just want to share how it looks, and I want to share all the information, how the process went, what are my thoughts, what were the difficult parts. Yes, but after all I really feel proud that we did such a building alone by ourselves. And honestly I thought it would take less time and less effort, but from this experience I learned, like, for the masters it's not easy at all. It takes so many years just to learn this type of the craft to do, this type of the work to do, and it takes time. So I value more the work like this because I understand it. I understand what it takes, how much efforts and how hard it is. So as with each experience you get throughout your life, you understand more things from that experience, and then you value it more. So this is what happened here. So now I'm gonna share all the details. So the construction work I continued in 2022 in summer, and that's where I was doing all the time along with my father. In some part of the work we needed the help of more people. It was either carrying too heavy stuff or two people. So in those type of work I invited a couple of my friends and they helped us, but I can say 95% of the work we did it alone and the rest we needed help. So the first part, it was building the foundation of house and foundation of walls out of concrete. So first of all you need to know how to make concrete, what materials do go in order to make it good and that it lasts for many years. I can say it takes a lot more time than expected preparation of foundations, because you need to measure everything correct, like measure it more times so you don't make any mistake. It's important like to measure a couple of times, because the boards and wood that you put like for making the shape of foundations, it can move anytime. Like there is also a rope that gives you the direction. It's important to do this part carefully, and it lasts much longer than I expected because it takes so much more time, like the preparation. Okay, you can dig the holes, you can measure that, but the preparation of the shape of the foundation, that takes so much time. And in this part of making the concrete for the foundations or for the surface of rooms, we required help with more people. Usually when you do foundation and surface of the house, like of the floor, you do it 1 or 2 days, and usually you need to start it in the morning, because if it's summer, it's better to escape the really hot hours. So it's recommendable to always start early in the morning, 6 a.m. so you finish it sooner. So the next part is making walls and masonry mortar. Masonry mortar, I didn't even know until now how to say this word, but it's the mix of materials that you use for sticking bricks to each other. So this part, if you do it with bricks, because bricks are smaller comparing to building blocks, so with bricks each row that you build, it goes much slower, but if you build with bricks, the building is more solid. So brick by brick you build the wall, then comes the foundation of the wall, so they stand solid too. This is a long part, this doesn't go so fast, but the next part is the roof. So preparation of the roof and making the roof. Here is a lot of woodwork, and this is also the part where I learned a lot. There is a lot of wooden boards, wooden slats and wooden beams. It was really hard. I remember this was somewhere in July, August in 2022, and I remember a lot of work we did under the summer sun, so it was sweating a lot, and I was pretty tanned. And we were wearing hats, so probably you'll see in one of the pictures that I share. I want to say that in 2022, in this summer, I was not sharing so much. I was having a detoxification of Instagram and social media, and I was invested in this construction work. So I had a lot of videos on my phone, but I lost all those videos. So the photos that I saved are from Instagram or from my friends that I used to send them like step by step that we have been doing. So I feel really sad that I didn't save all this video, because it would be even more interesting to show each part that I was recording. So the next part was building the roof. That was hard work and it was really high. I cannot say that I was afraid of height before, but this is where I pushed the limit of having fear of height even less, because it was really high, and when I was looking down at the start I was like, oh my god, it's really high, like I need to watch each my step so I don't fall down. So it was not easy at all, and it requires quite a lot of skills. But after a while, after 2 weeks, after a few weeks working on the roof, I was not afraid at all anymore. I was climbing like a cat, and it was much easier to reach the top of the house. That's where I can say, you see, like I developed my skills of climbing and having less fear of height. So after the preparation of the roof, the shape of the roof, and connecting wooden slats and beams with nails, also here you need to have a knowledge so the roof stands solid. By myself I would never know how to do it, I think. I don't want to underestimate my skills. You never know how good you are until you get into some situation, but I would say like, I wouldn't know to do this alone, which size of the nails are going into these beams and wooden boards. We use different size of nails for different boards and wooden beams. You needed to know all about this in order that your roof stands solid and still. So thanks to my father, he knew to do all the parts of the house, so I really learned a lot, and I still can learn a lot, and I still want to learn more about this work and get more knowledge from him, because I think it's really useful, and I will need it for the future, because I have realized lately I like to be creative and to do work outside in the nature, and also with the construction that's fine for me. I like to build stuff, I want to improve over there. So that's something that I will focus this year also on getting more knowledge and more experience, developing my skills in these kind of things. The next part is laying tiles. So we were placing the tiles on wooden slats and beams one by one, and this part goes quite fast. The only part that goes slowly is the edges of the roof. Also, before the tiles, we were placing many tarps for covering the roof, so if some raindrops pass through tiles, they don't go to the ceiling of my room. So there are many things that we put between, and that's the part that takes so much time. So the next part is putting the glass wool below the tarps and tiles. So the next part we were doing from inside the house, so we can get the rooms isolated of outside temperatures. Like when it's summer, this glass wool prevents from getting so much heat inside the house, and during the winter, so you don't get so much cold. So that's really important part, and we put quite a lot of glass wool, and that's the work that is really hard, because this glass wool, when you need to put it, like it flies all around the room. When you breathe it in, it's like, oh my god, each part of my body was itching, and that's not really healthy, and that's the part that I really hated to do. It was really hard and annoying of itching, and even my eyes, like when I blink every time, they would itch so much. And even if while you put it on the ceiling, you look up and all this glass wool is getting inside of your throat and mouth sometimes when you breathe, and sometimes I would even spit a little bit of blood, because it's a glass wool. But if you wear a mask or some better equipment such as plastic glasses or some glasses, you can do it much easier. But I just want to say this is one of the parts that I hated the most. And this plan of building the house that I'm saying, it's just a rough plan, because in between there is so much little work and so much more unpredictable little works that we needed to do, and it takes so much more time than expected. But I'm just showing you the rough plan, how it went. So during this period I was getting a little bit also annoyed that I thought that I will finish the house sooner, that I will be able to move in much faster, but I didn't, and it was postponing all the time. And all these little works, I really enjoyed in them, but there were days that I just really hated them, and I was like really tired, because we have been working from the morning until the evening every day. I liked it, but it was really draining me out. But this goal, having my house, it kept me going. It helped me with all the process, like to come to the end where we are now. And about the works on the house, there is always something to do and something to add, so you are never finished with the house. But the basic stuff that you can move in, we have finished all the things, and you can see also in the videos that I will share on my YouTube podcast and that I will share in this video. The next step is to close the roof from inside, and we did that with gypsum boards, and this part also took a lot of time. Wooden beams in the room that you will see on the photos, and it looks really beautiful, but these wooden beams made us so much more work to cut these gypsum boards, because you need to cut the right shape for it, and it took so much time because we were doing piece by piece, and then like connecting these gypsum boards. And finally the next part, if I remember good, after all these little works, finally it came bringing electricity into the house. And thanks God, my father even knows this. I just followed up all the work, but he was the one who was doing this part, because it's more important, because all the cables around the house where you want to have all the sockets and switches for the light and electricity. Bringing electricity into the house also took some time. After the ceiling and gypsum boards and electricity, the next part is plastering of walls. It requires also a lot of skills but here I improved myself a lot than comparing to myself before. After plastering of walls, it comes painting, so wall painting and all the works. As you can see, all the works that I mentioned, they took a lot more time than expected. The colors that I chose is for my room on the floor up. I chose the green, like army green. I wanted something like that, and I wanted to mix that with the furniture has in some parts the wooden boards. So I wanted my house to have as much as possible to have a natural look. And on the ground floor, the colors I chose are yellow and beige. After painting, it comes floor installation, laying the floor, laying the laminate. Nothing of that was easy. But it doesn't take so much time as other type of work. I forgot to mention the part of installation of windows and doors. I put 2 roof windows. I also made a big portal. Now, we didn't make by ourselves the windows and the doors. That's something that we ordered. So in my house I have like 2 roof windows, a big portal that I always wanted to have, like with these little squares inside a glass. I love it, and I think it looks really cozy, especially from outside when you look into the house with the yellow cozy light in the evening. So I always wanted to have a portal like that so I can see the nature. I see all the time birds flying left and right, up and down. So I really see the nature, and around my house I have a lot of trees, and I really feel like I'm sleeping in the nature. And there is so much light. That was something that was really important for my house. So all the things, how the house is going to look, design and all these ideas, I did it by myself, and I even made the drawing from a down floor, and yeah, I did all the plan how my house is going to look. There is a lot of windows, a lot of doors. I have noticed wherever I went when I rented the flats, when I had nature around me, or in general when I was on a higher floor, I felt so much better. I really made all my wishes about the house come true. And also I made in 2023 I made the terrace. Like the most of the photos that you're gonna see are from the making the garage and terrace. So I also 2023, again alone with my father, with a little bit of help of my friends and my brother, I made the big terrace like with 6 times 6 meters. It's like in an open space, and I spent a lot of time over there. So I made a big terrace, and below a big garage for making the heating installation. Okay, I forgot also this part to mention before, but that's after, that's like while I was painting, that was the period that we were doing this installation, maybe even before. So heating installation did a friend of my father. He's a master of heating installation. This was like also a big investment. When I started building house, actually that year the price of all the wooden stuff and all the material for house and heating installation, all of the material went double, and it really cost me a lot more than if I was building the house only 1 year before. But it's okay, I did what I wanted and my dream came true. I have the house that I want with a lot of windows and light. I have the terrace, I have all the things that I need. Let me see if I skip any other work on the house, like important part. Oh yes, I wanted to point out the chandeliers. We saw the idea in some shop. They were selling a lot of chandeliers, and I saw this, as I said, natural vibe. I want my house to have natural vibe. So we saw these chandeliers. I'm looking at them right now. Probably you hear me different, like changing the voice. I don't like white lights in the house. I really like yellow light, and it seems much more cozy. I don't like this white light that, for example, they use in hospital, in schools. I feel like my eyes are burning every time, and I feel like my eyes are really sensitive, and I really hate the white light. In my house, I can say it has retro natural vibe. What is really unique besides these chandeliers that my father made by himself are these wooden beams inside. I think it really gives cozy natural vibe. I really like it, it's obvious. Yes, we made it all on time. It took so much more time, it took so much more effort and more work and more money than I expected, but it's definitely worth it. Every day when I wake up now in this room full of lights and looking immediately to the nature, I just feel amazing. It cannot compare. It just doesn't feel as the same place I was living in. So it gives like totally different vibe. Just waking up here, I feel all the effort that I made for this, and I really feel proud of it. It makes me really satisfied, and every time when I wake up here, I have more motivation for the next goals and next things to achieve, because I achieved this one, and I think this one is really hard. It was like a big challenge for me and my father, and I cannot believe all the work that we did, and as we say in Serbian, kapa dole, the cap down, for all the work that we have made all by ourselves. All by myself. I just remember the song, sorry for that. At the same time, we were building garage and terrace, and inside the house we were doing the floor and installation of the floor, installation of heating and painting. So when I was doing this work, all my house was messy, and all the time it was coming Christmas and I was playing the music from Home Alone. And I really liked it. That's one of my favorite movies from my childhood, and before every Christmas I watch it alone or with my friends, most of the time alone, you know. And but it had such a good vibe, messy house, a lot of mess and things of material, and just building, and with that music and seeing the snow outside snowing. Oh my god, it was such a good feeling. You will see on the photos, you'll have the vibe. But I just want to say, it had such a good vibe, and I really enjoy this house. That's enough of my... You can see how satisfied I am. That's enough about my satisfaction about achieving this dream come true. Thank you for listening to my podcast, Life Adventures Taught Me. I will continue with talking about many random things. Besides these random things, of course, I will continue with the topics about personal growth, personal development, self-improvement, and about my trips. Thank you for listening to this podcast, Life Adventures Taught Me. Follow me on Instagram, Don Alejandros, and Don Adventure on YouTube and TikTok, Facebook page, Life Adventures Taught Me, and my site, Don Adventure. All the sites you can find the links below. Until the next episode, try to be creative, because I think this creativity brings a lot of joy to me, and maybe this episode can motivate you to do something in your house, to create something that you wanted from before and now you remembered. So I hope you got some motivation from here, that you enjoyed watching, and talk to you soon. Ciao ciao.